Reverend Dr. Linda Coff is a noted speaker, minister, and lecturer, giving seminars, workshops, and classes on the teaching of the science of mind, nationally and internationally. The main theme in all her works is helping each one to evolve their own permanent master consciousness within, that everyone may enjoy their rightful relationship to the Creator. She is founder of the New Thought Institute of New York, where great minds can convene and share their illumined insights with all of us. Dr. Coff has written a series of books consisting of 7 volumes. Dr. Coff takes the reader into the new city not built with hands, inside the hallowed temple of risen consciousness, to reveal a flawless master spiritual plan for establishing a perfect and permanent blueprint for abundance, affluence, and success. Linda Coff made her mark as a noted Broadway actress. She has also starred in a number of film and TV shows. Ladies and gentlemen, I now introduce you to our illumined star, Dr. Linda Coff.
It is that we are drawn together now, here on the summit of this holy mountain, in the sacred and divine consciousness and embrace of love's ineffable wisdom and power, here together to commune under the canopy of love's supreme guidance, awakening power, eternal majesty, and grace. And let us all, within ourselves now, give mighty thanks to the directors of Swannanoa Palace and the Institute of Science and Philosophy for having the God-expanded consciousness and for being so in tune with the divine plan and will for the new millennium and for all of life, to have provided us with such an exquisite meeting place for the energies of universal oneness and transformation and ascension to take place. And let us all give gratitude and mighty thanks to the Foundation for the Study and Application for A Course in Miracles for all of their harmonious efforts, most particularly to the efforts of Mary Messenger, their most inspired, apt, and gifted leader. I call Mary the divine messenger and harbinger of truth. How great it is that those of us from the different eternal wisdom schools and expressions of the one path of light may join our forces now in consciousness, in praise of the one. Let nothing ever divide us anymore. And I know with absolute certainty that the risen cosmic consciousness of the twin flames, the twin hearts of Walter and Leo Russell, are abiding with us powerfully today in greatest joy that such radiant evolution is taking place. For we know how they believed in, how they lived, and how they loved the law of the universal one, and how their whole lives were dedicated to the establishing of the new temple of consciousness and the new city of divine and risen beings of light on earth. I'm here to tell you that we have come. Our time has come. Thus we know now that the beautiful, majestic Christ empowers us with mighty illumination today each one of us here, in the way that speaks most deeply to them. And the great energy of our unified consciousness, as we dip into wisdom's secrets of love, pours down from this high place a golden river of light, streaming deep down into the valleys, into the rivers, the streams, the canyons, and into every individual's heart, radiating and renewing life at every level. For in finding love's perfection today, we shall be surely the resurrection and the life in all our ways, forever imprinting ourselves and our knowing on divine mind and leaving our exquisite trail of glorious light behind us. And let us know, as we are receiving illumination and simultaneously changing and transforming within ourselves, each one doing what needs to be done by them within themselves, that we are causing and are catalysts to a great shift upward around the earth. So let us now enter the temple of highest divine love. Our talk today is on one of the most sublime subjects, divine romance and perfect partnership. You know, from God's point of view, the entire universe is constantly engaged in a cosmic romance. From the tiniest atom to the most consciously evolved being, love is continuously enacted and exalted. And this is life by God's law of affinity and attraction, multiplying upon itself and increasing its good everywhere it goes. So love is what it's all about. And the consummation of this sublime life power of love in two immortal soul partners, twin flames of God, manifest, breathed out on the breath of God from the beginning, is the highest manifestation of love's living and resurrecting power. The ultimate phase of unification preceding absolute cosmic union with the all and the all. And so remember that in the beginning, God breathed us out, male and female, perfect. And we were meant to live by the law of attraction and love. And we came into this plane, each one of us, in our separate paths, to go on the journey of love and to perfect love in all our ways, and to go deep into the earth through our experiences to gain wisdom and knowledge, and then to choose ascension and rise out, finally rejoining together. So what we need to understand is that this inner call that we feel to express love is because it is what we are. That is all there is. Our raison d'etre and why we have come to earth plane is above all to perfect love's graces within ourselves and ground these energies as the Christ within the earth and throughout our bloodstream. We need to understand and know that indeed that perfect partner we have thought about so much does indeed exist for us from the beginning of time. Our immortal partner of eternity does exist. For, as we said before, we are born of God and move forward into eternity. And now, at this unsurpassed time of evolution, we are being immensely empowered from above to realize through our consciousness and bring forth this consummate potential. And we are being propelled by divine mind itself. For the whole universe in its many dimensions and kingdoms is moving toward a higher phase of expressed unity than ever before. And so we must consciously align and agree that we like this plan, and we back up God's plan. And so we do all that we can to stay in total alignment and attunement with his plan. Thus, the coming together of right partners enhances and raises the vibration of the whole earth in singular power and radiance. For through their coming together, we are adding to God's plan. We are fulfilling God's highest purposes and promptings and establishing a mighty link of empathy, a high vibration around the planet. The whole earth is raised in singular power. So if you have had any doubts anywhere in your past that this love is possible for you, now is time to release those doubts and forsake them once and for all and forever. Knowing mighty God supports me in my own soul quest, my deepest soul quest to rise out, and shall provide my other whole, here I said other whole, not other half, in perfect right time and grace. So we can understand now, at the right time in each of our personal evolution, our perfect mate naturally comes forth by cosmic law and divine order. And we can know this is a promise. This is a promise for us as we perfect our ways. That as we are about our Heavenly Father's business of perfecting love within ourselves, our beloved must come forth in luminous light and grace and unsurpassable joy. So here it is. At this very turning point and time of maximum potential, we can choose to go on perpetuating only mortal love, or devote ourselves now to establishing immortal, imperishable, exquisite divine love qualities within ourselves and achieve supreme bliss and the fulfillment of all our absolute desires through right attention, right values, and right motives. When I say mortal love, what do I mean? What are the distinguishing features and qualities between these two states of love, mortal and immortal? In mortal love, the physical, emotional planes rule. Desires, attachments, emotions, dependencies, and all things that stifle and crush and doom love are present and become our modus operandi, our motive within all. For basically, when we are in mortal love, we are confining ourselves to the dead-end idea that we are physical only and doomed to perish. So of course, if this is what we think, if we do not know that we are eternal life, and this is what we think, our whole belief and behavior pattern and system will emanate from this belief system and cause all our actions and correspond to this level of thinking that I am merely mortal, that I need all my things around me to survive. So we are caught up and living to quell our fears. And out of these fears and separation, we trap ourselves on a cyclic pattern. You've heard about this, the karmic wheel. Endless rounds of repeating the chronic behaviors, repeating karmic relationships and habits over and over again. So in order to rise out of this karmic wheel, we must choose and aspire to something greater. We must desire to become cosmic and perfect, eternal lovers in our personal life and for all of mankind. Not just part-time, just interested in the attainment of the good of the moment. Certainly, divine love will not grace us with many gifts from that point of view. But in conscious partnership with the blissful Creator, actually interested in and devoting all our energies of will and purpose toward the eternal establishing of love, where? Out there, within ourselves. How does mortal man, woman become the immortal lover? By first recognizing that you are one with God. From the beginning, no matter what you have been through, no matter how many ages, no matter how much history, no matter a moment ago, you are one with the divine. Second, changing in this new knowing, changing your motive of what you want to create in life, what you want to establish for yourself. Second and third, recognizing you are born of God and divine love is your original nature and no other. Sin, ideas of sin, were born of humankind, and that only really comes down to mean, it says, there's only one problem, it's separation. So there is only one solution, unification. It may mask as many different things, but that is really it. So you've got to change at the bottom line and understand, no matter what, I am one with the Creator. 2, I am love. 3, realizing, absolutely realizing, so deep within yourself, you will never be happy with paltry, earthly, separative victories and attainments. But this just satisfies the appetites, the fleeting appetites of the moment, but does not address the deep longing of the soul. The soul of you, which ever sits at the right hand of the Father, and ever seeks to express that which it is, the quintessence of purest love, light, and intelligence. So the route to reunification with immortal love and all its gifts, and establishing the immortal love body, the light body within yourself, and the attainment of imperishable partnership where the two become one in God, is through practicing, through your life, through your choices, through your decisions, right now in the challenges you have right now, practicing the virtues of unconditional love, raising your own self in all, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, right where you are. There's a statement, wherever you are, there is a place for you to bloom. And also I hear a gentleman here said, wherever I go, there I am. So we know that change must come from within, okay? So, but God has placed you where you are and given you the challenges and the joys of the moment because it's perfect and right and what you really do deeply seek for the more perfect evolution and freedom of your soul. So know this and do this and welcome your challenges and praise the gifts of love that you have in your life right now. And do this so much till you become illumined being and then ascended by divine right of your accomplishment into your divinity once again. So in relations, how does this work for us? We must begin to perfect now, generally. We don't wait for our love to come and say, now I can be loving. It doesn't work that way. Okay. We must perfect all our actions and reactions to come from our selfless center, heart center of love now, thereby building the fortress of love, the solar power of love within yourself now. And to then begin to lift our consciousness in all relations, abiding in consciousness over all your relationships. How can we lift our consciousness out of the dramas that mesmerize us and magnetize us so? I have a method. I always ask now, before I make a choice on anything, I say, what does God or the Christ mind or the Buddha, I use the highest examples I can think of, and I would say, what does God want manifest here? What is the highest and the best here for me and the other? And in this way, by choosing to live above reactivity and to live by the higher paradigm of love, which you know always must be the highest best for everyone concerned. So, what is the highest and the best here? In this way, I alchemize and transform my lower nature, and I rise out of being just physical being, all body, all the sense, as Mary said, everything I can gather around me in my sense world. I now rise up into my heart chakra, transforming the lower nature to divine alchemical light and love. Remembering the purpose now. If you're a conscious being and you know these truths, then we have no more excuses. If you want your good, you know the path you have to go. So we remember now the purpose of all relationships is that we may perfect love rather than attaining victory one over another. Our new understanding now of who and what we really are and what all of this is about causes us to convert our minds and conversely to begin to cherish all the relationships that we have as God-given opportunities. Remember, God sets up your relationships for you. You don't create them. God has set them and creates the plan for you, for your freedom. So we have the opportunity now through asking, what does God want here? What is the highest and best for me here, for this other here? What does divine mind want? We convert our minds and we begin to cherish the relationships, moving into a higher plane of thinking, spiritual plane of thinking, that we have as opportunities to perfect love in its many mansions and many ways. And of course, we know in our evolution as spiritual beings and in our relationships, we have caused much miscreation and sunk into the deepest depths of Hades with our jealousies and our possessions and our hates and our divisionary thinking and our abuses. For we have thought that we and our loved ones were apart from God, and that so we lived in lack and in blindness and in terror. And surely, if you think that you live apart from God, you must be terrified all the time. That's something to be scared about, okay? And these tendencies must be cleansed and healed as in the old initiation ceremonies. You know, the one who aspired had to cleanse with the fire of love whatever areas were darkened by selfish intent. So these tendencies must be made cleansed and healed and harmonized, wherein all we express the infinite spirit that we are, and the compassion, tenderness, and support of the Christ consciousness. So remember this, true love, when you have perfected true love in any area, you will have all power given unto you to resurrect everything in your life. Once you have performed that, the gift opens up unto you. And when we have difficult situations or challenging situations in our lives, let us realize that the divine law of perfect cause and effect has brought these persons and conditions on the circle of life back to us for us to bless and empower them with love, that we may fulfill the law and be free to return these relationships to the Creator with our blessing, and free now, the slate wiped clean, to have our own by divine right. Then we may complete our task and give back to the Creator the gift of life that was given unto us, and understand that all throughout our many sojourns, whether you believe we have lived eternally in this plane or many different dimensions, or however, that throughout our many sojourns through the plane of all relationships, our greatest loves have always been God, as the song said, and our immortal divine partner. And they have been there, witnessing us going through the whatevers, cheering us on, supporting us from within. So let the memory of our own perfection in God spur us on now to attain the absolute heights and mastery of love. Let the promise of the Creator to give us blissful unification with all come into our lives. You know, I love this statement. While I'm about my Father's business, the Father is perfecting all that concerns me. And that simply means that if I pay attention to what my life tasks are about and do them in faith, that all good shall be added unto me. So I never have to be concerned. And as I acquire and embody love's essences within myself in all of my vast field of relationships, all the gifts shall sequentially come forward and manifest in my life. So let us define the wide range of relationships that emanate in our life and their different natures and paths